Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for week 4 Champions League fixtures. And what a set of games and results we had in week 3 Champions League fixtures. We saw Liverpool get their revenge on Atletico Madrid and win 3-2. We saw Atalanta choke a 2-0 lead against Manchester United at Old Trafford, where Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the GOATs, led Manchester United back to a 3-2 victory. We saw some amazing other games like Chelsea beating Malmö 4-0. Great game for Chelsea and Tuchel as well. So let's just hope for more goals, more thrills, more entertainment, like I always say. And it should be more games and more goals of entertainment, because literally we're having the exact same games but the reverse tie. So teams who played home last game are playing away. So let's just hope for more goals, like I always say. But before going this video, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys in the comment section give me your own predictions, who you think is going to win in the reverse fixture. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. And let me just give so much credit for the first game, man. What drama, what thrills, what entertainment, what controversial decisions. We had Liverpool winning 2-0 early on. Then Atletico Madrid got back into the game with Griezmann and Lamar, and even other players like Felix was playing well as well. And then the game flipped on its head when Griezmann got the sending off, Liverpool got the penalty, and it just looked done and dusted from there. But let's just hope Liverpool win this game comfortably, coming from a Liverpool fan, because I do not want to experience what I just experienced in that last game. And the Atletico Madrid players need to understand, like I always say coming to Anfield, on a European night versus a big side, you have to start quick, you have to start smart. You can't be like lackadaisical, you can't be lethargic, because if you are, Liverpool can catch you out and literally catch you in a tornado where you can't recover. You can be 2-0 down in the first 20-25 minutes, which we've seen teams experience in the past. And Atletico Madrid can't be thinking, okay, we dealt with that last time when they came to our stadium when they went up 2-0 easily, because you're not going to have your home fans cheering you on, giving you that extra 10-20% energy. And although I did say Atletico Madrid must defend well as a team, compact, structured, make sure there's not enough space for the Liverpool players to make good runs and literally pick up the ball and create chances. However, Atletico Madrid must understand that they have more pressure coming into this game against Liverpool than Liverpool have going against Atletico Madrid. Liverpool have pretty much qualified, Atletico Madrid haven't yet. So they're going to have to go toe to toe with Liverpool, because they need these points urgently, because they have Porto breathing down their necks, having 4 points just like they do for automatic qualification and finishing second in the group. So Atletico Madrid actually have to win this game, and they have to break out their shell more than they did in the first game, because in the first 20 minutes or so, they literally just defended on the 18-yard box. They're going to have to push the defensive line higher and actually be a little bit braver on the ball against Liverpool, because if you just sit back for 90 minutes against Liverpool, it's just so hard for me to believe, not being biased, that you're going to be able to keep a clean sheet against a Liverpool side who have been scoring goals for fun against Watford 5, against Manchester United 5, against Atletico Madrid 3 goals as well. So I can't see in Atletico Madrid pull off a miracle defensively and actually keeping a clean sheet. So like I said, they need to be braver on the ball, actually try putting good passes for their forward men, which we saw last game. Griezmann obviously suspended for this game, but Felix and even Lamar had amazing games. So if Luis Suarez partners up with those guys, it's going to be a great sort of attack which Atletico Madrid can rely on to win the game. However, this is going to be hard, and although I did say this is the best method to beat in Liverpool, actually being the aggressor, actually being on the front foot. However, at the end of the day, if you're going to leave yourself exposed by doing this, Liverpool are just going to take advantage of this. We saw Manchester United and Watford give so many chances up, literally losing the ball in the midfield. And if Atletico Madrid aren't careful with Liverpool's press, they can easily win the ball when they're trying to create chances, and Liverpool can slash through them like butter and create chances with their clinical strikers like Salah and Mane. The only thing I'm kind of scared as a Liverpool fan is, will Jurgen Klopp rotate? Because he knows that Liverpool fans know we're pretty much qualified, we're pretty much going into the last 16. So is this an urgent game where we need our best players playing, or are we going to give our reserve players like Minamino and Origi another chance, because they did perform decent in the Carabao tie against Preston North End? So it'll be interesting to see what Jurgen Klopp does. Will he rotate? But going into this game, I think Jurgen Klopp will keep the same starters, which have been absolutely brilliant in the last few games or so. So I'm going to be predicting a Liverpool win 3-1 at Anfield. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Atalanta versus Manchester United. And what a game we just saw between these two sides. We saw Atalanta go 2-0 up against Manchester United, but were unable to seal the victory at Old Trafford, man. They were winning 2-0. And even though I did predict Atalanta to win the game comfortably 2-0, at half time, it always just kind of felt Manchester United were still in the game, because Atalanta were not clinical enough in their chances, and they were not defending well as a team to actually put any fires out for any opportunities that Manchester United were going to create. And we all know how it ended. One of the GOATs does GOAT things at the Stretford end and scored an all-decisive goal to win Manchester United the 3 points literally in the 81st minute, I believe. However, so much things have changed since that game. I know before that, they lost in the Carabao Cup to West Ham, so they're not even going to win a trophy this season because that was probably their best chance of silverware. They got annihilated, humiliated, embarrassed by Liverpool at home at Old Trafford 5-0. And obviously, Atalanta did not have their starters in the game against Manchester United. They were missing 5 starting players in the game. So Manchester United, the game shouldn't have really been that close. You should have wiped the floor with Atalanta. And so much has changed around Old Trafford. The environment is toxic. It just doesn't seem right. The air, the feeling around the club. And I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer turns into prime Sir Alex Ferguson and his team steps up when they're losing 1-0. But I'm telling you, if they go 1-0 down to Atalanta, when they don't have that Old Trafford fan base trying to cheer them on like they did in the first game, I don't see them winning. Maybe getting a draw, but I don't see them coming back. Because although they've been getting results from behind so many times this season and last season, I just feel like there's just too much pressure on these players' shoulders. If they go 1-0 down, I just feel like their heads are going to drop. They're not in the same place they were like a year ago where they knew like every single game they'll go down 1-0 and they'll come back. You went down to Liverpool and you didn't come back. So I just feel like this may play into the players' psyche and they won't get a result in this game in terms of a win if they actually go 1-0 down to Atalanta. But Manchester United are very lucky that Atalanta are not Liverpool. Yes, they play great attacking football. Yes, they pressurize you. Yes, they win the ball in good areas. But at the end of the day, they do not have the clinical nature like these top European sides, Bayern Munich, Man City, PSG, Liverpool do have in their nature to put the game away. So at least Manchester United are not versing one of the elite clubs and they can get away with mistakes, which they do on a consistent basis, like we saw against Atalanta, where their wing backs were having so much joy on either side, where even Greenwood was not even prepared to help out Wan-Bissaka, who was clearly struggling on the left-hand side. So Manchester United are going to have to tinker with that, make sure that they can deal with this threat, because obviously they just saw Atalanta take advantage of this. But in terms of this game, I don't see Manchester United winning, man. Too much pressure. It just feels like Ollie's on the brink of being fired. And frankly or not, man, maybe some of these players will be happy because he does not have the winning intangibles. So going into this game, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Leipzig versus PSG. And what an amazing game we just saw between these two sides. And if you ask me on the balance of probabilities, which side created more chances, which side deserved to win the game due to the chances, you may as well have picked Leipzig. They had so many chances. You had Keylor Navas pulling off world-class saves. You had Leipzig hitting the post. You had them missing great opportunities. And let's just hope that Leipzig don't miss these opportunities again. Because like we always say, in the final third, if you have those clinical players, they don't need as many chances as Leipzig do because they'll just bury the game and finish it off like we saw PSG do last game against Leipzig, where Messi and Mbappe scored the only real chances they had in that game. So Leipzig have to fix up in the final third, otherwise they will lose the game like they did last game. However, I know PSG are happy, they're satisfied, they have a big smile and grin on their face. 7 points out of 3 games in the first 3 games in the Champions League, may qualify top. They still have a lot to improve going into this game against Leipzig. They kept losing the ball, especially in the first half, which gave Leipzig so many chances. And like I said, against any other real club, they would have been put away those chances. So PSG can't be lackadaisical on the ball. Otherwise, we know of Leipzig's high press. They know how to create chances out of nothing. Also, PSG have to close down the ball when it goes down to the wing backs for Leipzig players. Angelino, we know, is one of the best crossers in Europe, the way he's swinging the ball in, putting the chances on a play which Leipzig players were missing. PSG have to close down the wing backs. Otherwise, potentially Leipzig could get a goal. It just felt like the PSG players didn't even respect the Leipzig players the way they were crossing the ball, knowing that they weren't going to create or make any of these opportunities they were missing. So literally, PSG must fix up in these areas. However, on a positive note, it looks like they are starting to click the players in the front forward positions. Mbappe and Messi are starting to get a real understanding of where they want the ball, who makes the runs, who drops into the space, who puts the ball through the eye of a needle to create the chances. It's starting to feel like they're meshing and gelling well as a team. So let's see if they're going to be able to continue this relationship, go into this game against Leipzig yet again and get the goals. I feel like PSG will sit back, stay compact, be defensive minded, stay structured like they did in the former game and against Man City. And because they're not home, because they're sitting top of the Champions League table, I don't feel like they have any real pressure winning this game or taking the game to Leipzig. Leipzig have still yet to win a game or even get a point so far, so they're going to have to throw wind at the caution to try win this game, and this is going to give so much space, so many chances and opportunities for PSG to take advantage of. So going into this game, I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory for PSG against Leipzig away from home. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City versus Club Brugge. And what an amazing game for Manchester City. But let me just start with Club Brugge. Obviously, winning their game against Leipzig away from home, picking a point up against PSG, who we know have world-class superstars on their team. They must have been feeling jolly. They must have been feeling great, sensational, thinking that potentially we can nick a point at home against Man City, the English champions. But as soon as the game kicked off, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, you just knew Man City were going to wipe the floor with Club Brugge. And they taught Club Brugge a footballing lesson. Honestly, watching the game, it just felt like a power league session. The way Man City were keeping the ball, the way the Club Brugge players were 2 steps, 3 steps away from every single pass Man City were playing. Literally, it was just a footballing clinic. If you really want to understand the game of football, tiki-taka football, I would honestly recommend you that game. The way Foden was dropping in as the false 9, literally knowing when to drop in, when to create those balls over the top, knowing when to make his runs himself, the way Bernardo Silva's work rate as well, the way Grealish, Cancelo were combining on that left-hand side, it was extraordinary, phenomenal, sensational to watch as a neutral fan. And honestly, going into this game at Man City Stadium, I don't see how Club Brugge are going to turn this around. They don't have their loyal support at the stadium to try get them out of sticky situations where Man City are going to dominate the game. And the thing is, these days, we know what's the worst combination in football when it comes to Manchester City when you have no chance of beating them. A is when they lose their game, because we know Pep Guardiola is not going to allow complacency to creep into the side, and we know he's going to get onto the players to make sure they perform at their best in their next game. And B, when a smaller side comes to the Etihad, we know it's going to be a consistent beating like we've been seeing all season and throughout Pep Guardiola's tenure. So going into this game, I'm going to be predicting a footballing thrashing like we saw in the last game between these two sides. And I don't feel that Man City are going to take their foot off the gas pedal. So I'm going to be predicting a 4-0 victory for Manchester City at the Etihad against Club Brugge. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Bayern Munich versus Benfica. And honestly, Benfica should be proud of the way they've been performing in the Champions League, getting that heroic, historic victory, iconic victory against Barcelona, winning 3-0. Obviously taking a point against Dynamo Kiev, not the best result, but honestly 4 points in their first 3 games, that's nothing to cry about. And their consistent form in the Portuguese league has been good, which should see them potentially win their title as well. However, going into this game against Bayern Munich, like we saw in the last game, we just know there's levels to this. There's levels in football. Yes, you can be performing well. Yes, you can be performing excellent. But when you try slay that big giant, it just doesn't happen sometimes. Like we saw against Bayern Munich at home, getting destroyed 4-0. And the last 4 goals coming after the 70th minute. So Bayern Munich can literally switch it on when they can and literally destroy you in any parts of the game, even if it's in 15-20 minutes increments. So going into this game against Bayern Munich, I don't see how Benfica have any real chance of winning. Like, honestly, we saw them get battered. Bayern Munich have the perfect blend of power and pace in their side. You have players like Gnabry, Coleman, Sane who can play. Then you have creative players like Kimmich, Goretzka, Müller as well. So honestly, the perfect blend of power and pace. And I just don't see Benfica dealing with this. They weren't even able to deal with Coleman in the reverse fixture when they got absolutely bad 4-0. His trickery, his pace, his skill. The right back of Benfica was having a horrid, livid time throughout the whole game. So let's see if Benfica adjust to this as well. So I don't see how Benfica are going to deal with this. And the worst time to play against Bayern Munich is when you see them lose. Because obviously sometimes they can be complacent, like we just saw in the last game losing 5-1. And we know the Bayern Munich fan base are not going to accept anything less than a world-class performance at home in a Champions League tie, especially just losing that game. So going into this game, I just feel like Benfica just need to worry about their confidence. Don't let it get too damaged, because you know Bayern Munich are on a different stratosphere, a different planet, a different universe when it comes to talent. And just focus on their last 2 games against Barcelona and Dynamo Kiev to see if they can qualify. But into this game, I'm going to be predicting a Bayern Munich thrashing again. I'm going to be predicting a 4-0 at the Allianz Arena for Bayern Munich.